computer. And we're set. Guys, welcome to a balmy February, March meeting for 2019. Sorry, I'm just a little discombobulated. Let's go back from Vegas. Get the agenda.
Yeah, I've got the agenda. I'll just so first off, again, Mark says we want to thank everyone for coming. Is Brian on? He wanted to say a few.
Yeah, I'm here.
So,
can you guys hear me? How about now? Check. Hear me?
we hear you. It's not very loud.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to see if I can find the volume. Well, why is this not projected?
Check. No.
Yeah, I want to be able to project to the up there though. What's going on there? Sorry, hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
I gotta go AirPlay is what I gotta do.
Yeah. Speaker there.
I gotta put you through the projector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it won't display.
So while he does all that, a little bit of change to the agenda. So our guest speaker, we invited the mayor to come talk to us, but he had a conflict, so he could not make it tonight. So we'll try to reschedule that.
Who, Mike?
Yeah.
Who's the mayor?
The mayor over here in Glendale.
Mike, mayor.
The mayor.
Yes, Mike. Yes, Mike Donovan.
Donovan.
Yeah. So anyway, so he couldn't make it, so that creates a little more time in the schedule. Or we've done a little bit early. Again, while he sets this up, we want to certainly welcome everyone. Certainly a lot of faces that we recognize, but if there is anyone here who hasn't been here before, this is their first meeting. So the young lady in the back, would you mind introducing yourself?
My name is Sarah. I've been playing since I was in middle school in Colorado, and I got certified 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
As a referee. I'm also a coach.
Okay, which high school team do you coach?
Ridge.
Okay, all right. Well, welcome. We very much appreciate you joining us and look forward to getting you out on the pitch.
Yeah, we're on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Welcome.
Anyone else? I think everyone else we recognize. Oh. So, are we okay?
Well, the schedule's not picking it up.
What was the story about?
Yeah, because I can be able to.
Storyteller. It was freezing cold on Saturday night. How's that? Yeah, but you can't tell those stories in mixed company. At least the language they use. What's that? What's that?
Makes sense to plug in the dongle.
Oh, that could be.
Sorry, I'm brain fried.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Mark, if you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to pass along the message. Basically, just wanted to welcome everybody and then also say a few notes about Las Vegas. As many people know, the tournament was this last weekend, and I believe from our group at Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees, we had 9 or 10 participants in the LVI and or the World Series there. And I mean, that's pretty good representation there. So good job, and it was a great showing for all. I've heard nothing but very, very positive things about the referees.
Yeah, it was a good event. Also, it was nice to be on the international stage. Good outcome for the Eagles as well, as we are sole benefactors of being number 1 of the men's sevens program. So that's good for also Olympic qualifying. And yeah, it's looking good. So the game is growing and the sleeping giant is waking up, as they say. We did have, we have a little note from our traveling not vice chairman, but chief operating officer, who never seems to be in town, travels more than anyone. I'll try and play that right now. Yeah.
Tough crowd.
40 years.
Hi folks, time for another video update from the operations officer out here in Seattle. And well, you can see a lovely strip mall right behind me. Hopefully you can see the Cascades as well. A few quick things. First one, please get your availability in. I'm sure it's a real shock to hear me ask for that. Can't assign you if we don't have your availability. So we'll be doing the rest of March on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. So please get it in tonight or tomorrow so that I can make sure to get you some games. You'll notice that there's a lot of AR assignments going out there. Thank you very much to Steve Gore for getting that taken care of. If you are brand new, you're looking to get started, if you just want to go ahead and get back out on the field in another way, make sure to let Steve know that you're available to be in AR. One of the other parts with availability, please put together a quick list of any teams that you may be associated with so that we don't assign you to them. That is always a bad thing. There's a space up on the availability for general availability notes. Just go ahead and put in there like affiliated with Queen City, affiliated with Black Ice, affiliated with PAC, for example. Any of those, whatever your level, just let me know so that we can get that taken care of. Finally, money. The payments for February have gone out. If you did a game on the 28th, I rolled that into March. And so payments go out generally around the 15th and the 30th, as long as you have $100 set up in the system. So if you've done one AR appointment, probably not gonna get paid till the end of the year, or excuse me, until the end of the season. So it goes out twice a month, as long as you have $100. Otherwise, it just accumulates until you get to either that mark or we get till the end of the season. So let me know if you have any questions, ops@RockyMountainRugbyRefs.com. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of the meeting.
Can we answer any questions?
So by raise of hands, who does not know how to log into Who's the Ref and fill out your availability? So everyone knows how to do it. So I'm also assuming that everyone has filled out their availability. Yeah? Got a question here. Nice message, Gil. Way to go, Brian. And
Anytime ever or just now?
well, like if I'm coaching for Black Ice, like still, so but we shouldn't assign you to referee then.
If I used to play them once.
No, that's
Oh,
fine.
no.
That's
Yeah, we
fine.
can't.
Yeah, I think either current or if there's some sort of conflict of interest because
You have a conflict of interest.
yeah.
So like I don't know. Like I'm coaching Queen City, I shouldn't be refereeing Queen City. That kind of thing. We probably wouldn't assign you to their A-side match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be fair to that team.
Well, you'd probably be harder on that team, but yeah, that would be a representation of not being fair as well, because they would. Yeah. So.
For example, my son played at Regis, the college, so I never did a college game there. So.
We're still waiting on the new law books to come from the mothership. Does anyone not have an old law book in their bag that they need to read?
And the app's been updated, I believe.
The app's been updated, but this is stored in your. Throw it in your toilet or workout facility or read it. I think we have a sprinkling of jerseys we can hand out. They're probably all extra large, large.
Double XL, or and double XL.
Does anyone need a large jersey or a double? Hopefully, no one needs a double XL.
Word over your jacket.
Yeah. Okay. So, saying that, we have a pretty nice kit policy. With however, we have no kit built up, and Emily and I were going to take that task on and kind of redo it. However, she's very busy, and I'm also becoming very busy. Is there anyone here that likes, like, hey, I got an eye for fashion, or I kind of been around the referee game a little bit. I know what I want. Is it like kind of get on a committee and kind of like, hey, we need jerseys. Let's get them from here. We need shorts and socks. Let's get them from here. Tracksuits would be good. And stock our store so that our new referees can get a fresh supply of kit. Ideally, we want to kind of keep the same. I talked to World Rugby Shop, and they can recreate this jersey on whatever platform we need that's reversible. I think our reversibles are a great idea. So they can actually recreate this jersey minus the sponsors that we no longer have. And saying that, if we know we need sponsors, Rick Goldhammer Incorporated. Yeah. So if anyone would like to help.
I don't have an eye for fashion.
I know.
But I used to do this.
Yeah.
I used to do this.
Great. Does anyone want to help Joe? All right. Well, hopefully we will work on getting Joe some friends. So, all right. Well, hopefully we'll get some kit stock soon and get that going again. I know it's something that this plate spins and keeps going, and this one falls off, and we're all trying to do as much as we can. Let's see here. We have another chat. MLR Pink. Yeah. Well, if you want MLR Pink, I'll try and get you there. One note to the agenda. There was a mistake. There's actually 2 education pieces on this. The spectacular breakdown will not be presented tonight because those go forth a little bit. I wanted to do the individual performance plan and game planning, which is probably a 60-minute discussion. So, yeah, so it could be a nice night. We were hoping to have a guest speaker. Something we used to kind of do, we kind of got to fill the time, like we've all been refereeing a little bit. Has something come up in your games that you wanted to talk about, you had a question about real quickly? Anything unique? Bill?
Yeah, and just all the high school QAs. Is there anything high school wise that I know that the Gator rolls.
Yeah, that's been out for a while, so there's no. Well, no, there is Gator roll.
Rolls,
You
yeah.
can only do it around the body, right? Only not one on the arm.
Like I said, Coach Titan, I had Lala Down tell me that things waived off on that stuff for high school.
To
Are you kidding me? So I just want to confirm that was something that was expected.
could you explain that a little bit more? Like,
What do you mean waived off?
So, using military terms, right? So basically, he sat there and said, he just wanted to see Gator rolling in high school life. That second and out.
Yeah, we've never gotten an instruction on that.
No.
The law allows for Gator rolls, right?
Yeah,
You just
right.
have to. There's
Fine.
no high tackle is yeah.
Show what the definition is. What is
Well,
the definition?
Of
Joe, I'll give you a
tackle?
second.
I know the definition of Gator roll. I know if it's like Rugby Colorado for high school, it's saying no.
Jim, have you heard that?
I talk to Angus every day. I've never heard that.
Well,
Joe,
I'll check on it. Find out. I'll send you a note.
follow up on
I
that.
gotcha.
They're
Okay,
getting confused because they're really good kids who can do it.
Okay. So if it turns out that it is illegal, you will get an email. If it turns out it's fine, you will not get an email. Okay? Everyone happy with that? Joe, you had a question?
Yeah, just for what it's worth, that question came to me from a local high school coach, and I went to the National Law Guru here.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, under the pits.
Yeah.
Roll them out.
So maybe perhaps he's thinking like we should penalize the squeeze ball. That would maybe affect the guy to get gator rolled? Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Well, you know what? There are some.
I wanted to ask you guys first before
Yeah.
we address it.
Yeah. Totally fine if it's done legally and safely, right? So, what is something that came about in high schools this year? Does anyone know that's something that's sanctioned? Randy?
There's no, ending of the face.
Yeah, no fending to the neck or face in U19, right? No. So like anywhere above this, like here is like right here is where we don't want to go.
Unless you have a closed down.
Repeatedly. John, you had a question? Yeah. So this is interesting. This is something that that even at the highest level of tier 1 countries, they are confused about. It was changed to, well, so yes, it does have to leave the person's hand. You have to restart the game properly, right? You have to kick the ball out of your hand. You can't bounce the ball on your foot. You can put the ball on the mark. You can tap it through the mark, or you can kick the ball out of your hand. Not with your knee, not with your heel. It has to move a visible distance out of your hand or on the ground. That's per law, right? If you don't do that, what should we do? You want to have it? Someone with Joe. What would you do?
Me?
Yeah, Art.
Probably play on.
Okay, that's one option, right? Play on. Just pick up the ball and run with it. Let's get on with it. That's good, creative.
Maybe didn't leave his hand, but he went up and tapped it.
Yeah. Well, let's raise hands and let's give other people voices that don't really usually talk. Sunrisa, what do you think you would do?
I just make them start over.
Okay, redo it, right? If it doesn't look right, redo it. Who would do something other than just having a wild go of the Wild West, or actually have them doing it right? Jim?
Well, you're right, if it's high school kids and they don't know,
Well,
but if
yeah.
it's a men's team and they know, then come out of the hands. And scrum to the other team.
Okay, that law has changed. In 2016, they took that law out of it. So I don't know if any of you took the Richard Every hardest law exam ever, but that law is gone. So the game never restarts. This is official. The game never restarts, and you just redo it, right? So you get back 10, you kick the ball out of your hands. So there's some high-level people this weekend that were still, no, it's a scrum, and I'm like, you are not correct. So that is taken out, right?
Right there takes all of their advantage, all of the weakness that the quick tap would have gotten.
Yeah.
No, you didn't do it right, tweak, come on, try it again. Now the other team is set and the quick tap is probably off.
Yeah, so like I always said, manage the stupid, punish the ridiculous. It happens once, right? Just, no, Randy, come back. The ball has to be kicked out of your hands properly. Just make it look like rugby. Bring them up to your standard. Don't referee down to their standard. Yeah? So even if it's high school girls or whatever and they can't do it, let's get them to do it. Let's make them look like rugby. Because if their goal is to play in Vegas or at Glendale when you're in sevens, they're going to want to know how to do that. And you should be preparing them to get them to know how to do that, right? Sorry. Oh, geez, I'm doing all kinds of things on the screen here.
So the other thing on high school, again, the high tackle is mid-chest and up.
Totally tracking on all that.
And then the squeeze ball. No squeeze ball, which so the players tackled, right? They get up on their knees and they pass the ball through their legs. All the time in college and with the adult teams, you cannot do that at the high school level. So you cannot place the ball back between. You guys know what I mean? Do we need to demonstrate it? I was going to have you come up, Bill, and I'll be the scrum half. So, but anyway, so you're down. And the reason is when you do a squeeze ball, generally the player's head is down on the pitch and is exposed. And they don't want that at the high school level. So nothing back between your legs on the squeeze ball play.
Yeah, off feet.
Yeah. Well, when we first started this a couple of years ago, we had a series of, first warn them, then award a scrum, and then go to a penalty. But to tell you the truth, it's been around for a number of years. I don't see it much anymore at the high school level. So There's nothing wrong with going right to the back. Yeah.
So unplayable, right? Set the expectation. What's the game look like? What's the contest look like? Is it close? Is it fighting? Is it 72-0 and the first time it happens? It's contextual, right? Ultimately, it's a massive safety issue because that guy's an exposed, and then you can come in and hit the guy's neck. We don't want broken necks. So, like, if you recognize it, fine, go unplayable, set the expectation. If it happens again, let's escalate, right? Remove it out of the game. Okay? Rick?
Having two kickoffs. So the PRP level, on some of the video, some of the teams are, when they kick off, they're actually sending two guys past the ball. And I would say almost a screen for the receiving team, like anybody come up to support the guy who got it. I mean, any thoughts on that? I mean,
Like they can run past?
So blue kicks off the red. Two of the blue players are clearly passing where the ball is going to land.
Sure.
And almost making a wall.
Yeah.
To keep the red players from coming supporting the ball, or at least stopping someone from coming up and catch it.
I think they, yeah.
I think part of the reason for that by the kicking team is not so much to screen the supporting rucker, but when that ball's kicked short, there's going to be someone from the kicking team also going up for it, and it could be a tap back. And that's what those two blue guys that ran beyond. So they're that tap back. Red.
So that was part of the question. So really, the team from California, the high school team that was in town, they were clearly trained to do that. They had a guy basically sweeping to catch the tap from the receiving team. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No,
I mean, it looks
no.
a little weird to me, but there's nothing
No, it's
wrong
fine.
that says they can't do that.
And there's no sidelines except for the ball. Yeah, as long as he doesn't obstruct, you know.
It gave me pause, though, like, they're like,
Yeah.
can't think of a reason.
Like there's always going to be like new laws come out, players adjust to it, they try new things, right? The line out mall is becoming one of the hardest things to referee when it wasn't that hard, a couple of years ago. So yeah.
We're dealing with both of those scenarios.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
A question from one of our games. How much are you managing the substitutions? Because the high school team is subbed on somebody for blood sub, and it was a player that had already gone out. And, the opposing team was screaming bloody murder. This kid couldn't be on as a substitution. And,
So like Donald Trump.
yeah. And so I think in the end, there was a legal substitution, but because we're not necessarily tracking numbers of who's subbing in and out, how do we kind of handle that situation?
Well, Jim, I think Rugby Colorado has open subs, yeah?
It's not. Colorado, I just talked with Angus and Rick, and we kind of feel like as long as the teams are saying it's no 23-man limit, it's to get as many people out there to play. Agrees to try to collect all that crap.
30-man roster.
There's not this year, no 30-man roster.
So last year, it didn't really matter because you had 30 people. But
Yeah, but anyway, the strong feeling from Rugby Colorado is that as long as it's going to be rolling subs and unlimited roster, then we certainly cannot ask the referees to whether that guy, what he left for and what he's coming back, running on and off. I think in this case too, he did not report to the referee. Is this the same one?
There was it was Regis versus.
Yeah, that's the one. And didn't report, just ran back on.
It was Regis versus.
I think
Is
we're,
that going to continue?
Oh, not the playoffs, no. The playoffs
Yes, it's not trusting.
Okay. I thought that they had for most of the teams, especially like the frontline player, you didn't have anybody else just goes over the top. They could submit.
They can for those, but this wasn't that. This was just a guy gone.
Oh,
it's
my
not
God.
just the front row. If you have a blood, that anyone that was taken off the field or a substitute come back on. Yeah, if you went off with an injury, you can't come back. If you went off as a substitute, you can't come back on for blood. No matter
High school,
15 minutes. 15-minute
Yeah, we got a couple
actual
other
time
questions.
of day.
Colorado rules and regulations around high school play, and that will be concluded at the end of the season or before the start of next season, I should say.
So for situational awareness, they was asked all the coaches to please not use the substitution thing. Because
Okay, so to answer your question, to the best of your ability.
So we with rolling sub, are you saying that someone who has come off cannot come back on, or they can, or any, even for tactical?
So they can go play for 5 minutes, go have an orange slice, and come back and play for another 5 minutes. Right?
And it's not even, it doesn't even matter if it's for blood sub or not. They can just come back.
Yeah, in theory they can, except unless you deem it's recognize and remove, which they've been concussed, and you're like, no, you're done, right?
That's right.
Emily?
So I guess that was my clarification question. My understanding is that it's not the team, so that it's not a substitution movement, but X amount of movement. So in theory, one player could go on and off at X amount of time without any issue. I didn't know if there was something different about like Colorado. There's a lot going on. But
So the movement thing only applies to sevens.
okay.
For 15s, it's for World Rugby 15s, like a league event. It's probably the 8 replacements if you have 3 eligible suitably trained front row.
Let's go 15s.
So Jim, I'm sorry, John, I'll come to you. Jim, can we get a clarification on the subs? Can we get something in writing from out of
Yeah,
Angus?
we
how
we
to
can do that. The sort of problem is it's kind of a mess, and we're going to try to get it cleaned up this year. But,
Yeah, just so we can get it out to all the referee. Another one that came up was, there was a discussion on Friday night's high school game about, are they 30-minute halves or 35-minute halves? So if we could get a clarification. So first they told us it was a 40-minute half. It was like, we know it's not a 40-minute half.
Under U19, it's 35. With the high school following.
It's 70 minutes.
It's
No more.
no high school player can play more than 70 minutes in a day. In a day, or 110 a day, 70 in the game, right? Yeah. So the reason we would go with 30 is if there's a tiebreaker thing, then you could play a 10-minute game, 5-minute halves, right? I will make sure someone's offside, and they will kick a goal for post to win it for 35. So I'd rather get a run out. But let's get a clarification on that. So, like by law too, is like if there's a clarification you need, you could just have a discussion with the captains. Captain, you want to do 35s today? Yeah, 35s. Great, it's on them.
And that is one thing we agree to. If the two
Yeah.
captains say we're going to play 25, it's over.
Yeah, whatever, right?
So there was a question back here. I'm sorry. Answered. Okay. And John, was that your question?
go back and beat the high school substitutions. Aren't they allowed to come back on regardless of what's on?
Yeah, I think so. So it's just like gives you practice for Aspen, right? Yeah, it's just on and off. Not during open play, and then recognize, remove.
I'm just saying that
It's done.
the playoffs in high school, tactical sub can come back, even outside of time.
For an injury, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's in the U19 variations. It's specifically in there. So
Okay, great.
any other questions on that? Good discussion, guys. Jim, if you could help us out with those two.
We had a couple interesting law things come up over the sevens tournament that applies to all levels of the game, 15s and sevens.
So you had some interesting things that happened at sevens. What's that, Brian?
Yeah, so one question that is not very common, but we all know about a turnover maul. What about what happens when the ball is kicked off and nowadays they lift the player up in the air and he receives the kickoff and is brought to ground and a maul immediately commences upon the reception?
Okay, let me point
Yeah.
that. So off a restart, this player up the air catches the ball, comes down, forms a maul, becomes unplayable. What would you do?
Was it behind the
That doesn't matter in this scenario. Okay, so we have two options. It's a turnover or it's an unplayable, right? Let's see. All right. So who says you should turn the ball over? All right, 4 of you. Who says it should be just a unplayable same team? All right, so the majority of you say that. Why? Who has a new law book? And we can look that up.
And what about a normal scenario when a maul is held up and becomes dead?
Well, so I think the issue is, Brian, is you're throwing a little curveball in there.
Correct.
We're all thinking a maul cannot be turned over directly from an opponent's kick. That's a kick and open play. That's not a restart. It's a turnover. Yeah, so it would be a turnover from a restart kick. Same as it would be just like a regular maul. It comes unplayable, it's turned over. However, a kick and open play, which means Jim is a fullback, it catches a pass or a kick and kicks it down the field. I catch the ball, Mark forms me, and Jim binds onto me. It's now a maul. I don't get it. It's my ball again because it's direct from a kick, but not a restart. So a kick and open play and a restart are two different things.
Okay, so then a kick and open play, turnover.
No, a kick and open play is my same maul. A regular maul, just off a line out, restart, running up the field, getting bound on is a turnover, right? You have a book in your lap.
As you said, look at the new one.
Well, it's in that didn't change.
You said the new one.
I said your new book.
You said the new one, so look at the new one.
All right.
Good.
All right. So with that, it's 7:38, and we could probably get out of here 8:30 and back into your nice warm pajamas. So I don't get rid of that. There we go. What do you see on the screen there, guys? Someone say what do you got? Not you guys.
It's the red IPP and individual game plans.
Great.
We have yours.
Great. Fantastic. This is kind of something that's coming down from higher leagues. And I think as with everything, we trickle that information down to from MLR to PRP to D1A to WPL to, local referees. So why not, again, prepare you for those leagues and kind of start doing this here. So does anyone know what an IPP would be other than Rick? It's an individual performance plan. So it's kind of like your basis of what you want to do for the year. Who had an IPP for 2018 of any kind of thing? Any written down, paper to pencil to paper, kind of any kind of goals, even if they're like, I want to be a World Cup rugby referee. So Rick and Emily, what was on your IPP from last year? No, because from your 2018 one, not for your PRP one.
So I had fitness on it.
Yeah, that's on your one for.
It was on 2018.
It was on as well.
For the fall.
Okay, all right. We will actually show them yours.
What's that?
We'll show a little bit of yours.
Oh,
Yeah. Emily, what was on yours? What were some of your performance plan goals or aspirations?
So
Okay. Okay, that's good. AR and WPL is that's something of a bit of an aspiration, right? Not so much a goal, but like improving your ARing to be considered for higher level appointments that maybe, and then I can put some measurables in that.
I didn't have one. I had one here before. I was working on scrums.
So just working on scrums. Get in there with a blowtorch and a crowbar and get some work done. Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully out of this, right, we'll kind of talk about it. So what is an IPP? Yeah. Right. Individual performance plan. Good job. Gold stars. And it has kind of 3 key elements, right? What is your current reality? Right? What will success look for you at the end of the season? And then 2 or 3 key focus areas to get you that success. So what is your current reality in terms of refereeing and life in general? So here's one. Solid first season of MLR, progressed through the season. Well, disappointed with semifinal performance, overall happy. Battled injury over the season. Reality is I have a clear issue with injury. Relocated to Austin. I wonder who that is. It's Kat Roche. And settling in, dealing with a few things, still looking for a balance of life outside of rugby, supporting myself fully and financially. Struggle with contextual decisions. So it's just kind of a snapshot of where you are. You know, like what are you doing? What's your life look like? What's your availability look like? What are some mitigating factors that kind of happen? Here's another one. Solid return to refereeing in 2018. Perform well in bigger matches. Settled into a fairly new team with a family. My time and energy is easier to budget, and I've completed 6 full match reviews in Advantage. Right? So it's like, what have you done? And it's like, you don't have to write a 1,000-word essay on this. Like, what does your life look like? What are some of the big things you want to do? Right? What would success look for you if you had a great year this year? Be healthy overall with a new approach to diet, fitness, and stress and sleep. Nail time and space to look more calm around the field. Find a hobby, right? Consistent performances in Major League Rugby and America's Rugby Championship this spring. And find the right balance between technical and contextual decisions. Here's one. Get back to a high level of fitness. Appointed to the PRP and considered for higher level matches of 2 or 3-ish caliber. Success at an effective match communication using rehearsed phrases to elicit behavioral change around the tackle breakdown. Right? Anyone have any questions on that? Is this something that's blowing your minds that you cannot do? Is this something that's probably pretty easy to do with some help? Now, here comes the kind of harder part, is the key focus areas. What do you need to do for this season? Just, again, we're not asking you to build Rome in a day. What are 3 of the major things you need to do to make yourselves better at the end of the season and set yourself up for the fall season? Right? Do they involve the scrum? Is it tackle? Is it about your reaction time? Like your fitness? Like, are you out there getting to the breakdown? You know, what's your physical profile look like? Are you managing high impact decisions? What's your communication like? Are you speaking too much? What's your whistle tone signal look like? Can you get in front of a mirror or use that timer delay we used one time, right? And use that. Are you crap at budgeting your time and like doing match review and watching rugby? You know, are you having an issue with tactical game? Are you trying to have trouble setting up the game or scrums? You know, like these are all just things. Again, like Advantage has 40 key elements, competencies that you can pick out of, right? But there's also things in your life, like I am crap at telling my wife no and going out to rugby, or saying no to rugby and making my wife happy, like whatever, how it is. Yeah. Or domestic partner or whatever, right? So for each of your key areas, there's 3 things you need. So I want to work on Scrum. Well, what do you want to work on the Scrum for? All right, what's your objective? You want to be able to recognize people boring in, people not binding. I want to set it up. I want to recognize dominance. Like, what do you want to get out of it? Not just, I want to be a better referee at the scrum, because don't we all? But what's drill down into it? What do you want to get better at the scrum? What do you want to get better at the breakdown? Right? You want to be able to cue on the tackler not releasing? Do you want to work on arriving players, your positioning? What specifically can we drill down to? Right? What are you going to do to get better at those things? I'm going to go into Advantage and watch 20 clips of my local referees who clip scrums. I'm going to watch international rugby. I'm going to script the phrases I hear and I like and write down, and create a code book. And for management opportunities, I'm going to say this. If high tackle opportunities, I'm going to say that. I'm going to listen to what other referees say. Like, what are you actually going to do? What can I go to you and go, where's the proof? How did you do this? And then how are you going to measure it if what you're doing is working? Right? What's the process that you're getting better at the scrum? Is your cadence slower? Are you stepping back? Do you have a plan? Are you out there? Is your positioning 80% of the time correct at breakdown? Is it 70% of the time? What is it? Are you pirouetting more? Are you going to the – what is the measurable? This is what we would like as coaches, Mike, Joe, and the newer Jim. This is what we would like to see when we show up to your pitch to coach you, a measurable. So we can go, you know what? I think you've achieved it. Keep going. Can think about maybe doing this, adding this much to it. Or no, you haven't achieved it. Let's go back and rethink what you're doing during the week of what you can do. Instead of just showing up and saying, what's your measurables? I don't know. Oh, great. Well, then Joe and I and everyone are going to thin slice your whole game and probably going to tear you apart, right? Because we have nothing else to do. So let's just pick off our years of experience, and your advantage isn't great. Your foul play is good. Your scrum's bad, and you'll have no clear thing. If you give us measurables and actions items, we'll have something to do, and it'll be an easy day, right? And you'll get a little bit better every day. So select one of these for your focus areas. What's your objective for the focus area? Yeah. So I don't know if you guys we can like get into groups, or if you want to just kind of think about something or pair up, like let's get into groups. How many of us are there? Four. So 5 groups of 4. How's that? Right? Mix it up. Don't go with your friends. Pick a focus area. Pick a focus area. Well, this will take like 5 minutes. Pick a focus area. Come up with kind of an objective, some actions, and a measurable of how you're going to improve that over the season. Yeah, no, as a group. So someone pick something, decide it, come up with a plan, right? It's the last one more. So does it say something specific about restarts? So a kick is not a restart.
Well, it's very simple.
Hence it doesn't say restart. Hence it's
Scrum that is ordered.
Yeah.
Action check. Guys, I think I want to slow down, and it really is.
Yeah, Chris is great. Good. Chris and Brendan. Okay. I recognize you. Wild, sad.
Not just the body, but like one of the shoulders. Give that shoulder touch.
Hey, Chuff, can you hear me? Amanda and Chuff and anybody else that wants to, I'm sure we can chat.
Yeah, I can hear you, Brian.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is interesting stuff. So you did you had some focus areas for your what is it, IPP, and what was your objective with the space management, specifically around the breakdown?
I'm trying to pull it up now. Specifically, previously in my space management, I had needed to throw a lot of hands but not look. So I was trying to get myself to look and better communicate that space.
They do what they want.
And I was.
Right now, we are. I think that's great. So what are your main?
Yeah, I hear Amanda. I hear in the background my kids are running upstairs, causing hell up there. My kids are just going chaotic up there. I feel bad for Shauna. Stephen Marino, while Chuff's digging up his report, Stephen, do you have any? I know you didn't make one of these plans yet, but do you have anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, well, I like the idea of having like year-long objectives. I have a journal. I went and I grabbed my sort of referee journal while we were talking, and I looked at my matches late in the fall to see the same kind of issues that came up on my goals lists. Mm-hmm. And so thus far, my goals have kind of been match to match, but I like the idea of having sort of a bigger vision like this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Did anything come to mind? Just like, I mean, I realize you're on the spot. You don't have to sound perfect.
Yeah, I know.
So, did anything come to mind as you were kind of seeing some of the other referees, notes of things that applied to you, or something that immediately jumped out to you, like, ooh, that's perfect? But I even think for myself, as an example, outside of the field, as a chairman, one of the things that I struggle with is time management. And so, obviously, not obviously, but for me, the objective would be to provide more quality thought and develop more resources for us as a referee society. And that includes clipping out things from Advantage and taking interesting discussion and finding video examples of that, so that way we all can learn better as a referee unit. Those are some of the things that I'd like to spend more time on. So my objective would be to create better resources for us. And, you know, for me, I think as I thought about this before, actions that I can improve on this is really just isolating or scheduling time. You know, I tend to find that if I schedule something, it will happen more. Whereas if I just kind of hope to find the time in the day, those are some of the first steps I can think of. You know, measurables. Maybe you know, I set an appointment for myself, and I, you know,
And all the others.
check off if I attended it or not, and actually got it. Yeah, that's just like an example.
Okay, guys, a little bit, a few more seconds.
We were field shovel. All kinds of shit. So, lines you could.
Jeffers, anything to follow up with there before we move on? We can always continue at the next little breakout.
All right, has everyone got a stopping point?
Yeah, sorry, Brian, I threw it in the chat. I copied and pasted it over.
Yeah, no, good. I think one of the keys is so your goal or your focus area is creating space. In other words, what's the purpose? What are you trying to accomplish by doing that?
All right, let's get to wrapping up.
And Chris, you can type if you want to allow the interrupt the meeting here. I'll go ahead and mute for a minute.
So random. Yeah, take two. I've been what? Chess boxing. All right, we'll get going here. All right, let's reform back into our classroom. Whoopsie. What's this group? What'd you guys come up with?
So I offered myself as a kid, and This one I definitely like the voice from safety. We actually do like a slow correct cadence. And make sure it's stable, there's good body conditioning, correct gap. So, and doing all this before the injury. Then we go up center, there's a search. The scoring one boys.
It's good. What about the group back there? Okay.
That would be a good one to see. Why is it so expensive? How did it happen? You can tell you that. Do that. Listen to that.
Which one?
Game of Thrones.
Who's that?
PragerU.
Is it PragerU?
Yeah, don't discredit like the power of visualization. There's going to be a webinar this Wednesday or a Zoom meeting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, which is what, 8 o'clock here, from Roger Drew from the Auckland Society about visualization for refereeing and coaching. I just created it today, so Brian should send that out once we get it confirmed from Paul Bratz. What about this group back here, Mike?
It's all good to say is that we just talked about personal items. Just go ahead and try to recognize how we would fix whatever we want to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have like individual discussion.
Okay, good. And this group up here?
So we talked about a couple of things that we were discussing. My goal is participation, where the ball going next, and how long we address that. So from my perspective, it's going to be from everything from set pieces to how to play, break down, how I coach, and how I keep visualization of the field, so I can see where the players are going. And see where the ball is going.
Okay, so your objective is increase your peripheral vision, right? So what are some actions? What are some actions you're going to do?
So some of the action I do is the approach to the breakdown. Looking up at the defensive line.
Okay, so like, what could some things you could do? Like, so those are all in game, which are great. Like I'm happy to have you guys try and improve game to game, but like, what are you going to do during the week that like increase your peripheral vision? Like, have you ever thought like I'm going to go to YouTube? I'm going to just, I mean, you could do everything on YouTube. I could probably go back and watch this meeting on YouTube as it's happening right now. But like, I'm going to go and I'm going to go look up peripheral vision exercises. I remember a couple months ago, Steve came in and did some presentation on that. There's all kinds of like things we can do of like, just kind of like, and like write down numbers and games and stuff, like just kind of visualize stuff and write down numbers in the game and have Joe call out 15, 13 blue team, you got to find them, all kinds of stuff. So that would be like an actual item. The measurable would be, you know what, you're catching your offside penalties going down, right? So it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. That could be like one thing you're going to do. But the hard part is doing it, right? Okay. Yeah, exactly. I mean, use the tools you got. All right, so let's crack on and get through this. That was a good exercise. Some interesting things came of it. All right. So here's an example of a game objective, right? To be in the right place for positioning, be in the right time, make the best decision, stop getting caught or running away from play. And spend some time with a coach to understand the pros and cons of my coach or a team coach. Then positioning the pros and cons of the scrum, line out breakdown, include 3 to 4 field-based sessions in the month, right? Find a Super Rugby referee who has good positioning in terms of how I referee, and watch the game every week to understand when and where they go. Attend a local training session once every 2 weeks. Practice running lines. All right, have a coach come to 1 or 2 of these. Watch my game and clip the times I get caught running away from play. Share these with my coach and provide some solutions. Right? The measurables post-game is how often I get bumped into a caught out of 10. I got 9 out of 10 that time. Now hopefully I'll get 8 out of 10 next time, right? Measurable, did I attend the trainings? Did I actually go? Did I get my butt out there even though it's cold and it's rainy and my dog peed in my Cheerios, right? At the 6th week, I'm going to do a review and just kind of say, is this working? Do I need to think of something else? Right? It's not that difficult. But again, the difficult is going out there every fortnight, watching the Super Rugby, finding the guy, finding the ref that you emulate. Just actually kind of doing it. All right, so with that, so that's an individual performance plan. That's how I'm going to get better during the season. How do I use that to get better during a game? So every game, I don't know if you ever logged into Advantage, you have a little area to write key description of the game or a game plan. This is when you can just go in there and again, to give your coaches something to look for and work on. Like when we say, what are you working on? This is your game plan. So here's an example of a game plan, right? Let me know what you think out of this one and the other one is better. First round of the competition, we'll see a rise in intensity and pressure from all involved. Both teams have an opportunity to have some quality reps, had some quality reps. One-off runners and offloads are a definite pattern for Team A, while Team B look to exploit space. Out wide a bit more, it will be important to get good space in the tackler and tackle assist early on and allow players to settle in. The patterns they want to, I can't even read it. Realize mentally I am ready and sharp to be open in the minutes, chasing the game. The game must be not overmanaged. I will look to fly under the radar with quick balls available and set pieces set up to code. Right? The game plan, easy to follow. Easy for me to go, Art, you nailed it. You flew under the radar. You set up the tackle. Those offload runners were not effective, like easy to follow. This is a lot of the game plans in Advantage right now. This is more how it is. Now let's look at this one. All right, first 15 minutes, I want to set up the game. Tough on the tackler. To roll out or clear out of the way, my trigger for that is I'm going to get quick ball. Right? Who knows what a trigger is? Right. Who knows besides Rich what a trigger is?
Yeah. So I'm going to walk in this room. How am I going to know that you're on the light? Dark. Dark is the trigger. It's dark, and you turn on the light. Easy peasy. Right? Tackler is not rolling. I'm not getting quick ball. Tackler must not be rolling. Right? That is the trigger. If I am getting quick ball, I'm being effective at getting a tackler out. Offside line, that's a misspelled word. Presence on the attacking gain line. My trigger is that my tackles are consistently behind the gain line. So that's a bit of a negative trigger, but consistently my tackles are getting behind the gain line. I'm not getting advantage. So maybe my offside line I need to work on that, right? The scrum process, plan A is I want alignment, stability, binds pushing straight, take it step by step, slow down if needed, right? If plan A doesn't work, we go to plan B. Focus on one player. If it's not working, my
my trigger is if it's working, ball in, ball out of the scrum. Happy days. Let's get on. I need to revisit plan A or plan B if needed. So that's kind of like, am I getting ball in, ball out? No, collapse, wheel, penalty. I gotta slow down my scrum process. Or do I need to like just focus on Jim, who's the loose head prop, who's giving me fits, and I'm just gonna like focus on Jim. Jim, if you do everything right and it goes down, it's probably James. So I'm gonna penalize you. Right? Maybe I'm gonna narrow it down that much. And that's what you need to do. Because again, there's 1,000 things in a scrum. Keep it simple. That would be plan B. Then when feel they can do this. Who feels they can't do this? Okay, good. So what is the main objective of a game plan? Again, give you consistency week to week within your game, providing you with a blueprint to operate off of every game. It should outline what you are going to do and therefore predominantly be about you and your key triggers and your processes. It should allow you to provide a basis for you to do your review of your performance. Again, if you don't have a coach, you can go back into Advantage and you can say I was successful or not. If I had video, I can count how many times I was bumped. If I just going back and thinking about it, I felt like I was in more position. I felt I was more effectively with my voice. I liked the phrases I used. My scrum cadence was slower, et cetera, right? And then how did that impact the game? Well, you know what? I got a lot more ball in, ball out of the scrum. Or it was a nightmare. The scrums were a nightmare. I didn't know what to do. Let's rethink it. Okay? Things your game plan should have. Again, and from your IPP, what are those 2 or 3 things you're working on? Your triggers, your processes, and the phases you see most important. How you're going to referee it, and the things your game plan shouldn't have. Your work-ons from last week. Well, Joe looked at me last week, said foul play was an issue for me. I got to work on foul play. Is it part of your IPP? Nope. Let's get back to basics. Great, I hear that, Joe. Well, maybe we'll put that in next year's IPP. These are the 3 things I'm working on. Excessive information about who's playing, where the competition from, how they played last week, the weather conditions, unless it's in relation to how you referee. All right, sunny out, the cool breeze in the sky, the birds swallow, unveiled pass, enjoy the day, smile, big smiles. Right. So again, here's the game plan. Key focuses, my key factors, some triggers and process of those things that you're working on. Those you don't have to have breakdown, space, line out, whatever. If you're working on space, you're working on breakdown. That's where you put your key focuses. Sound like a plan? I can't wait to read all your individual performance plans. So let's go and share that. Give me 1 second here. I gotta open up Google Chrome.
One thing worth noting about this is that the more time you put into this, you'll get out of it what you put into it. And also by sending Mark as RDO this plan, it also is one more area where you can, put up your hand and demonstrate that you're putting in the work. And as a executive committee and as a development officer, and these are the things that we look at on who is undeniably somebody we want to bring to Aspen, or somebody that deserves to go to playoffs, or is just putting in the time it takes to become a better referee. And if all things are equal, this type of plan and the work towards getting there is something that will set you apart.
So the login for this is usa.advantagereferee.com. And Rocky Mountain has contracted this. There's been a interesting shakeup at the national office. whereas the person who licenses software is no longer employed. I would imagine he's going to fulfill our contract for this software. I don't know of what the future will hold for it. I know it won't go away. I just don't know how you'll get access to it via, like, will it be an individual basis or will it be still an LRO thing? Is there, I don't know what the future holds, right? So there was a contract from the national office with this individual for this. It's not going to go away. I just don't know how the method that you're going to receive it will be, right? Again, you're the members. We'll have an AGM. If it's something you guys feel value, I'm sure you can convince the executive committee to figure out how to get this for you, right? If it's something you want to do, right? I don't know how it looks like. This is an older version of it. There are newer versions of it that actually, if you go into it, sorry, it actually has an area on your home page to go fill out your performance plan and your focus areas. And you can put like your last beep tests or your yo-yos or your focus areas here, your performance plan, right? I think with the new version that will be released, however it gets released, that will have that in there. But right now, we have the USA Advantage to your use. So usa.advantagereferee.com, go in there and register, and I'll accept you and get in there and take some notes. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to email myself, Joe, Brian Zapp, Rick Goldhammer, anyone who's been in here, and we can help you to walk you through that. Just reading some of the chats. Ideally, let's see if I could do this here. I went in and refereed a game, and I got the video of it, and I went in there and did this, right? And that's kind of, do we want to do a breakdown of this? So, like, do you guys want to know what this looks like a little bit? Or do you want to move on? Okay, like I said,
It's great. It's just,
yeah. It's a little bit of time. Ideally, I don't know if you got coaching reports from us in the past. It was like through a form on Google Forms, and I would like to have this everything done through here, whether you have video or not. You can go in here, you can write down your plan, you can go back and do your recall. The coach can go in here and log in it. You can work on the things you work on, right? So if you go in there and create your report, I'm going to go work on these things. Then your coach can come in here and give you a little bit of feedback, and it's all one-stop shopping, right? And if you get video, link the video and code it, right?
You can do this without video. If you do get the video, like Mark said, you link the video in, you go through it play by play, you make up what's called a playlist, where it says that 3 minutes and 20 seconds of the video, we had our first scrum, and Jim Lou said was causing trouble.
So I went in and tagged it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's your playlist.
It's just the internet's a little slow here. It's loading. I'll get rid of this little menu bar if I can.
You can step it forward frame by frame, so you can see actually what happened, which might be different from what you see in real time.
So the internet's really choppy right now. This is my first scrum. First line out, here's a penalty kick. Again, happy to go through this. If you guys want to know like a tutorial to do this, we could, grab one of us. We can happily kind of break you down through this.
Mark, I wrote down an action item to distribute the login.
Sure. Yeah. There is a video that kind of teaches you how to do it through Advantage Referee. It's again really choppy internet. Sorry, it's not playing well.
Somebody just try using it, like pretty steep learning curve. Like, you get into what the hell is this? But once you use it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
pretty slick.
So again, really dodgy internet. So, yeah. All right. Good stuff, everyone. Any further comments or questions? Art, sorry, let me pause this.
I missed last week's meeting, but what did we move to the new level system?
Yep.
That we talked about last week?
Yep. So in Who's the Ref, you've all kind of been given levels, and it's kind of assigned to you. So I don't know if you go in your profile, you can see your level. You should be able to do that. And we're working on kind of shaping that, how that looks out throughout the season. We're trying to work it. We've had a few matches in the spring that we needed to kind of prep Rick and Chris and Gore on, and that was really all we had for their PRP. And now how it shakes out, we are looking to kind of put you guys with it. Ultimately, my goal, I was talking with Joe, working on this, is instead of like, because we have various coaches here, and I think that the outcome of it would be like, great, Joe and myself and maybe Bob Warner will take levels 2 and 3, and Paul Pettit and Mark Huff and Mike Swank will take, and again, this isn't assigned, right? We'll take like 4 and 5, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name again. What was you moved back from Austin? Arkansas. Yeah. Mike Hacker and Dale and Stu will take 7 and 8, whatever. Like we'll just and then we'll kind of run it like how we do the WPL PRP, is kind of do some calls like that. I still have to flesh that out, but yes, we are on levels, right? As far as the rest of the world, I don't know. We're on levels. All our games are on levels. We have this. We're trying to move through the coaching process of getting it all sorted out.
Or the rest of the country will follow along.
That's exactly right. They normally do. Any other questions? Any questions from the chat room here? Yeah, just some chat about Advantage, really. All right. So with that, thank you all for braving the snow and risking your lives to come listen to me talk once more again this season. One of these days, our executive committee, other than Mark and I, will be here to do something.
You hear that, Brian?
Yeah, Brian Zapp, I'm looking at you. All right, thanks, guys.
So action items. Mr. Zevin is going to coordinate our kit, but he's looking for some help. So we have an opening. You want to help Joe with that? Okay.
Sometime in the next century.
And then Jim, you've got the action item to give some instructions on substitutions at Rugby Colorado level, and then game durations. That we do with 35 steps. And then we got the send those instructions out on how to log in.
Yeah.
We can give them the link to the video too.
Yeah.
One email.
Yeah. To
Isn't there
the
a link?
I'll see to the how to.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I've seen it. I just don't know where it is right now.
Can you send out the PowerPoint?
Yep, that will come out as well. The PowerPoint will this come out, and then the recording of this meeting will also go out.